Dressing appropriately for a PhD or a postdoctoral interview is very crucial because it creates a strong first impression. Your outfit should be professional but at the same time also comfortable so that you are focused on the conversation and not worry about your outfit. Hi, I'm Dr. Radhika Kamdar, and today I will give you some general guidelines about how to dress for an academic interview, and I will also share some examples for both men and women, irrespective of your gender identity or orientation. And I will also share how I goofed up before I learned to dress the right way, the hard way, according to the cultural appropriateness of various countries. So stay with me till the end of the video and let's get styling. So here's some general guidelines about how you dress for either an in-person or a video interview. So first of all, make sure that you're dressed professionally. Nothing overly formal unless specified in the dress code of that particular institute. Second, choose muted, solid, neutral colors like beige, brown, gray, navy, dark blue or olive or taupe, etc. Nothing too jazzy, flashy like reds, neons, orange colors, or all of those sorts. Third, ensure that you have a clean, ironed, and a well fitted outfit. Nothing too tight that would show your body contour, or nothing too loose that would be hanging off your body. It should be just the right fit. Fourth, always prioritize comfort because you might be sitting or standing for long discussions. Now, for example, I was giving my PhD interview at BRC and it was a sitting Q&A session. And imagine if I was not wearing a comfortable outfit, I would have to be moving around in the chair, adjusting my clothing and feeling uncomfortable because sometimes these chairs are not comfortable, forget being ergonomic. So you don't want to be shuffling around all the time and leaving a bad impression and making people focus on your body language and your behavior rather than your performance on the interview. Now let me give you some examples for women's dress up. First, or the most common option would be to take a formal shirt and pair it with dress pants, and you may or may not have a blazer. Second, you can do is a well-fitted blouse, again with or without a blazer, and pair it with a A-line skirt or a pencil skirt. Instead of an A-line or a pencil skirt, a conventional pleated skirt is also good. Second option is a dress. But make sure that your dress is neither too tight nor too short, and I'll tell you why. Usually during interviews, you might be sitting across a desk, but in rare cases, if it is only a chair, you do not want to worry about crossing your legs or having to sit mandatorily in a slant with knees and ankles joined like the elite or the royal, because you're going to have to sit for long hours and without moving a muscle. And trust me, it gets really uncomfortable. Now, all these three options are applicable to women across the globe for all institutes, Ivy League, premier institutes, etc. But in the Indian subcontinent, women also have another option. That is, you can wear a salwar suit or you can wear a kurti with dress pants or trousers. Please avoid jeans or capris or shorts or any of those culottes or something like that. And another option, if you are comfortable with, is you can also go for a sari. But the style and the patterns should be similar, muted colors, toned down, solid colors, nothing jazzy, flashy, blingy kind of stuff. Then comes your footwear. Always closed-toe shoes. There is no debate about it. You can use flats, bellies, low ankle boots, loafers, moccasins, but please avoid sneakers, fashion shoes, stilettos, any of those. Why? Let me give you an example here. Now, I was giving my PhD interview in Tokyo, and my interview style was presentation and Q&A session. You can check out my previous video on the different types of interviews. So this went on for about 1.5 hours, 45 minutes PowerPoint presentation, 45 minutes for Q&A session. Now, of course, PowerPoint, I was standing and talking for about 45 minutes. But during the Q&A session, I still did not sit down. There was a chair, but it felt rude to me to sit down without having been told to do so. So imagine that I was on my feet for hour and a half approximately without moving anywhere from the room or taking a break. So if you're wearing stilettos or fashion shoes or high heels or anything of those sorts, first, it would kill your feet. Second, after a short time, you will start shuffling from one foot to another, and that would kill your impression. So go for professional shoes, but comfortable ones. Then comes the accessories. So go for small studs or very tiny little hoops. For example, these kind of studs that you can see here, and avoid anything dangly, for example, like this kind of earrings here, these kind of dangly jazzy stuff, or something very blingy, this kind of bracelets. Avoid anything of that sorts which jaggles around, jingles, or makes noise or has too much of flash on it. Keep it minimal and keep it very professional. The last thing is hair and makeup. So it has to be neat and professional. Make sure that your hair is not falling over your face and covering it. I would recommend that if you have hair any longer than shoulder length, consider tying a simple ponytail like I do. And if you have too many baby hair or flyaway hair like I do, like this, consider using a setting spray or a styling gel so that it gives you a sleeker look. Keep makeup natural and minimal. Avoid using any dark shadows, eyeshadows, and lipsticks, dark shaded lipsticks. Use muted tones, nude tones, like a overall nude color palette. Another option is you could go completely makeup free, and that's totally fine too. Just make sure that you look fresh and professional. Do not look like just someone woken up from the sleep and has appeared for the interview. You just make sure that your rest of the ensemble is all put together and it comes together as a very confident person. Now let's look at some options for men. Unfortunately, I don't have a male student willing to model for me today, so we'll have to do with the visuals, but I'll try my best to give you the perfect options. And if you have any questions, please do write them in the comment box and I will give you one-on-one answers. So the first or the best option for men is a button down shirt with dress pants or trousers. Formal trousers would be the best option. You may or may not use a tie depending on the institute or the dress code that the institute might have prescribed. The second option is a sweater over a formal shirt with trousers, and this goes well for almost all institutes across the world, especially Europe and USA, where they prefer a bit of more formal attire. The third option is a formal shirt with trousers or slack pants, and you can go with a tie. Ivy League or premier institutes might want a complete business attire that is complete with a blazer or a jacket. So you have to make sure that you check out the dress code for that particular institute. For example, in Japan, people are always completely suited with a formal shirt, trousers, tie, and a jacket. So here's a little trick. Wear the tie or wear a jacket and take the tie with you to your interview venue. Check out the ensemble of the other candidates or the staff and the panelists if possible, if you get a chance, and dress up or down according to your environment. You may add the tie or you may remove it. You may add the jacket or you may remove it. You can just carry it on your arm, and that would give you a professional look and fit in. You do not need to stand out because of your dressing. You need to stand out based on your performance on the interview as a candidate. Then footwear. Always go for formal shoes, moccasins or loafers. Avoid any sneakers, open toe sandals. That's totally out of question. The final thing is grooming for men. A well shaven look is the best option, best bet. But if for various reasons you cannot remove your facial hair, that's fine too. Just make sure that you have a properly trimmed mustache or a well groomed beard, and that will make you look very professional. A final thing is perfumes. Now, some may like to use it, some may not use it. That's totally your decision and your preference. This goes for both men and women. Whatever you choose, if you're choosing to use any perfumes or body mists or sprays, make sure that they are very mildly fragrant. Do not have any strong, something affecting your senses fragrant, because Japanese and Swedes are very sensitive olfactory nerves, and this might cause irritation, and their focus and attention would be diverted from your performance towards your fragrance, and you do not want that. Another option of interviews is virtual interviews. Now, these days, it is not uncommon for interviews to be conducted online virtually, especially for international students. Now, follow the same dress code, same attire code, and total dress up code, at least from the waist up, because that's what's going to be visible on the screen. Second, use a very quiet professional environment from where you're going to give the interview. If you can use a desk and a chair and it has a neutral background, then that's great. If not, use a decluttered dining table at your house. If that is also not an option, just declutter your sitting space and sit on the floor. You can prop your device such as your laptop or your phone on a step stool or something of a height that matches your eye level. I did that. When I was in Tokyo, I lived in a student dorm and a shared space. So the houses are pretty much small. Then you do not have a proper dining table, or you have no space to put a study table separately. So that's what we did. Sit on your futon and prop my laptop on a step stool or a small half-height dining table, and that's how I gave my interview. So you can do that. Just make sure that your device is propped on something stable and doesn't topple off while you are chatting. And most important is the tech check. So please check out my previous video on how to prepare for your interview. I have given a detailed checklist about what all you should be ready for, whether it's an in-person interview or an online interview. So no matter where you're giving your PhD interview at, the key is to strike the perfect balance between professionalism and cultural appropriateness. So let me share an incident about how I goofed up during my dressing and my doctoral committee presentation before I learned to dress right. So this doctoral committee presentation is halfway through your PhD, and this was in Tokyo, of course. And I wasn't aware about how to dress for such kind of presentations, because it would consist of everyone in the department and also your external examiners. And I was the first student, so I didn't have seniors to guide me through this. So I just dressed up like I normally do in a semi-casual beige and pista colored shirt with taupe colored pants, and it was not the perfect looking ensemble, but that's how I normally dressed up in the lab, and I kept it very semi-casual. And I walked into a room full of people who were putting up their posters and were ready for the presentations, and I was shocked. Every single person in that room was dressed in a black and blue attire, complete professional, with fitted blouses and skirts, or dress pants, jackets, proper heels, minimal makeup. And here I was in my full lab rags. You can say it was totally lab rags compared to everybody else. And I did not have a chance to go change because I did not have a spare set of clothes or, formal clothes in my locker or anything. And my dorm room was at least 30 minutes away. So there was no chance. So I had to take my chance and give my presentation just like that. Now, the outcome was that, okay, students and some colleagues and peers did come and interact with me, showed some interest in my work. But two most important external examiners did not come and talk to me. And at the end of it, when I asked the support staff that these people are yet to come and visit my poster, and I was told that they left. And later when I spoke to my PI about this, he said that I should have dressed well, because some people, they might find it offensive that I did not dress right according to the norms or the etiquette of the institute. And it was no one's fault at that point, because I was unaware of cultural appropriateness, and my PI had just taken for granted that I would know, and I didn't have seniors in the lab to guide me. But that was when I learned that no one tells you. It's your job to find out if there is a particular dress code and whether you have to follow certain norms. So dressing thoughtfully not only shows your respect towards the institution and its cultural norms, it also boosts your confidence and brings out your academic potential. If any time in doubt, always err on the side of formal spectrum and let your passion and curiosity shine through. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your idea for research and your passion for your research and the overall learning has to come through and has to be conveyed as the candidate. So, tell us how did you find this video and tell us how did you dress on your PhD or postdoctoral interview day. I will also make another video on how to ace your interviews. I will give you the most common questions and give you perfectly crafted answers that will guarantee your selection. So stay tuned for more such academic updates and Rad's Research Room.